God wasn't there. And I never felt God. And I felt like it was all like a ruse. And that religion was a scam and everyone was being fooled. And like no one was understanding things the way I'm understanding things, because I'm just so much different. And I came to a point where I was just like, I don't know what to do with this anymore. Like I don't know what to do with this anymore. And I don't want to seek out God anymore. And so I just stopped. And I still had to go to church because I lived with my parents who were Catholic and I was underage. So the rule is if you're underage and you live with your parents, you have to go to church. But I didn't really participate like in my faith. I wasn't active in my faith. I didn't like my parents would be like, hey, there's this retreat going on. I'd be like, no, absolutely not. And like my parents, they pray a lot. They pray every day and they would be like, come say a rosary. Nope, I don't want to do it. And it was like, I was digging myself deeper and deeper into this hole of like things that were bad happened to me. And that has to be someone's fault. And if everyone is just, they're all just human, everyone makes mistakes, then whose fault is it ultimately? Like, why does this have to be like this person's fault or this person's fault or my fault? Like it can't just be on me. Like that can't be right. You know what I mean? And so I was directing my anger, my emotions that I didn't know what to do with, inwardly. And that's why I, developed the coping mechanism of cutting, which is like so utterly damaging to your mentality and your soul. And that I struggled with for 4 years. And like, I get a lot of questions about my scars. And I'm not uncomfortable about that at all, actually. I don't mind talking about it. I don't mind being completely truthful. But like, it's kind of weird when sometimes it's like kids will ask and I don't really know what to say. I'm like, oh, it's just a story for another day, oh, it's nothing. Like there's some times where you can't really say anything. But I'm very open about it because I feel like someone needs to be, if like someone's going to ask me a question about it, I feel like they have a right to know. And like, I did this to myself, obviously. And so if someone has a question about something that I did, I'm going to take accountability for it and I'm going to answer them. And I don't have any problem doing that. But it's still like, the consequences of my own actions, and it's like biting me in the butt, but but yeah, I'm almost 6 months clean now.
That's absolutely amazing.
Right.
Yeah. I'm happy you're open and talking about it. I have to, things are like improving, getting better, but I'm like, it's a thing that people don't talk about. That's what we were talking about like a couple weeks ago. No one talks about mental health in like the true fashion. It's more of just a broad statement, and it's like, we don't talk about it because it's sensitive.
Yeah.
But it's super important. But so continuing the story though, like where did you kind of have that like almost an aha moment where maybe faith is real?
Yeah. So I think it was the summer of 2022. I was still, I was on a medication that was helping me. I was, on a really good path, with my job and my family, and like everything was going really well, but I was still, cutting, and I was still grappling with my faith. And I went to church one day because it was like sometime in the summer, they were having a confession day, but the kind of confession where everyone kind of like scatters into pews, and then your priest walks and he comes in and he sits next to you and you do confession like that. And I walked in and I like went all the way to the back and I sat down and I just started crying immediately. And I was like, I just don't understand. Like I was, praying internally, and I was like, I don't understand and I don't get it. I don't understand. Like everyone says to follow God's plan, but that is not easy when God's plan seems to just like absolutely suck so far. You know what I mean? It's like, it's awful and I hate it. And I don't want to have to follow, all of these rules and these people, trying to tell me just pray more and you'll feel better. Pray more and you'll understand. And it's like, I have been praying all the time, and I'm asking and I'm getting no answers. And what I didn't understand at the time was like, prayers never go unanswered. It's just that sometimes the answer is no. And I truly think that this was something that God was kind of like, you're doing this to yourself. Like, this is, you know the answers and you've been taught the answers your entire life, but you are convincing yourself otherwise, and you're doing this yourself, and you're damaging yourself mentally and physically as a way to, to fight that. And it's not beneficial to you or to anybody. And I had confession with my priest, and it was, it was really good. We talked, and I went outside and I sat down in my car and I was like, wait a minute. I get it. I had this moment that I was like, no, but I understand now. And I was like, everything that has happened was a lesson. It was all something that I was supposed to learn from. And like, that's why when people ask me like, well, do you regret the decisions? Absolutely not. I don't regret any decision that I made. Even if it was the worst decision of my life, I truly believe that everywhere I have been and everywhere I am going is exactly where God wanted me to be at that time. Because some things are just lessons. And like, lessons hurt sometimes. Like if you get a God lesson, I mean, that hurts a lot sometimes. And it hurt me a lot to know that like all of it was necessary, but I have grown so much from all of my experiences with, not getting along with my parents to absolutely grappling with my faith, like with everything in me. And it was all so difficult and so hard, but it brought me to where I am now. And right now, the blessings never end. The blessings are just always pouring in. And, I do believe that whether I am absolutely miserable or the happiest I've ever been, it's where God needs me and wants me to be.